Let's go through the sky mirror here and see what's coming up for the next 10 days. And some of my notes, big thing, Uranus is going into Taurus. That's a big thing for me. Uranus is the ruler of astrology and science, common sense. Yeah, very different from Neptune, the priest, artist, doctor, the guy that has to do with the last 2,000 years. Uranus has to do with the next 2,000 years. So when it goes into Taurus, it's much more in my favor. That's Wednesday, the 16th. And it happens that the moon, Mercury, goes by Uranus, by the way. So we're going to be talking a lot about Uranus stuff. Thing is, it's squaring Mars when it does that. But it sextiles Venus. Upshot is, can you read my astrology writing yet? I found some people who just started looking at the show. They said, oh, we enjoyed it. It was funny and kind of entertaining, but we didn't understand much of it. Okay, so I've been doing this TV show for 20 years. I started out with real basic stuff. And I taught you things about what sign opposes what sign trines what sign. And people liked that a lot. And after 10 years of that, I got into applications more. And now I'm operating pretty much at the PhD level and just doing my thing here. And the main thing is, if you're watching the show, don't get discouraged. If you can't read this right away, Uranus into Taurus, square Mars, sextile Venus. You know, that might be, you're in kindergarten, that's okay. You'll get used to these terms. These are just the actors on the stage. So what happens is the moon conjuncts Mercury and Uranus. Yes, on May 13th. Actually starts Saturday night, the 12th, and goes through Sunday, the 13th. Now, Mercury on Uranus means we're going to talk a lot and feel a little jittery. Squaring Mars, electrical problems could make the fires now. And there will be some fires and some road rage over unusual people doing unusual words. Well, let's take a look at the sky mirror itself. First thing is to go through this picture of the sky, that's what it is, and try to pick out the ups and downs, the hots and colds, and all the different flavors of these days. So I've set the planets out here. Now remember, these are just the actors. At first, if you're not used to this, you know, it'll seem, oh, this is all arcane. It's so weird. I'll never understand it. Nah, you will. Look, here's the sun. That's the father. And there's Venus. You see her? Everybody knows Venus, yeah? The goddess of love. Sex, too. Oh, boy. She's kind of, well, Mercury here, the messenger. Here's Uranus. These are just actors. It's the same 10 guys. You know, Saturn is Saturn. He's been that way for 10,000 years. Jupiter is Jupiter. So it's like, you know, it's a small alphabet, 10 characters. But if you think of them like actors on the stage, you'll start getting used to the characters. And then these lines tell us how these characters interact. What's going on with the actors? Well, the sun opposed Jupiter. Here's the boss and the father figures saying, we've had enough of these lawyers. They cost too much. I just saw a bunch of that the last few days. Nobody can afford a lawyer to get the help they need. Well, anyway, this translates into your internal life and to the externals. So you can just watch what's happening in the news and on TV, and you'll see these actors doing their thing, you know, as we see it on this script. This is a script of the play. And so these lines, the red ones, the short ones here, there's a square. Here's Mars squaring Uranus, you know, and angriness about unusual stuff. Here's homeless people getting angry. They're chasing homeless people. Those are Uranus people, folks that are different, chasing them off their campsites. Well, enough. Focus outside, you'll see the actors doing their thing out on the streets and in your neighborhood and in your family. Focus inside, you'll have pictures and feelings and things that match this pattern. Yes, Rinpoche said, look inside, look outside. Look at the chart. That's the basic drill, okay? So let's go around the wheel and see what it has to do. We as the moon goes around here once a month, it makes angles to these actors, and it gives us the cue of when they stand up and behave and what they're doing. If you're on the Thursday night show, the moon's in Pisces here, and you're in Neptune land still, kind of dreamy, huh? Like it was Wednesday night. Maybe a little wet, too. More on that later. Anyway, Friday, May 11th, the moon is in Aries. And as you get to the afternoon of Friday, there's a little tick mark there on Saturn. What's that? That's a red line. That's a square to Saturn. So everybody's a little cold, a little old, a little cheap, not enough money, not enough of anything. They don't like the Saturn character. That's the politician and the judge. So we're caught in a little square to Saturn, and we're late. You're going someplace Friday night, you're probably going to be late. Other people will be late. This is around dinner time. These lines represent midnight on the West Coast, 2 a.m. in Hawaii. So here it's 2 p.m. So this is about 2, 4, 5 or 6 p.m. The moon will square Saturn, and you'll feel yourself a little depressed. Saturday, the moon's still in Aries. And here's Venus, in the middle of the day. There's a sextile to Venus. There's some sweets and some pleasure, and there's a nice flower and a pretty girl. But look out, because after you see that, here's a square to Pluto, and there's some power trips, and there's, angriness over Pluto. What's that? Dog droppings. I watched the pretty girl, and I stepped into dog droppings, and that's Saturday around lunch and to dinner time. The flavor of it all, huh? And as you go into Saturday night, things get pretty active here. Look at that. Here's Uranus, the guy we're concerned with and talking about, and you're going to feel him Saturday night. And he's at 29 degrees right now, so he's right about there. It's actually Sunday morning when the moon hits Uranus. And you might have twirlies, little tornadoes, little quakes, shakings. Suddenly you wake up and there's somebody yelling and they're angry outside. That's Mars squaring Uranus. Or the heat had everybody ran air conditioners and the power went out. And there you are Sunday morning feeling like you're alone and having a glitch in life. And you are. It's a minor thing. It'll pass. By the time you get to just before lunch, here's Mercury. The kids are happy, and they're enjoying life. The Sunday is an interesting time. By the time you get to the end of Sunday here, this is about midnight, 11 o'clock. Here's a trine to Saturn, and we're feeling pretty good. The very stuff we were worried about Friday now gets clear. Oh, we can fix that kind of easy. So this is you get organized Sunday afternoon and evening. Feels good, doesn't it? So you'll be organized Monday morning. The moon's in Taurus, by the way, and the whole thing is Uranus is going into Taurus. Now, once Uranus goes into Taurus, it's going to go back and forth and back and forth. It's going to be about 7 years. And I'm changing. I'm embarking on a new plan. I'll tell you about it shortly. You'll like it. I'm going back to basics. So, Monday morning, here's a sextile to Neptune. We have some nice music and we believe in things. And the thing is, before lunch, here's the moon opposing Jupiter. And everybody's clowning around and doing too much and overdoing it. And we got to kind of slow down a little bit. Now there's a new moon here, late Monday night, early Tuesday, the 15th, at 24 degrees of Taurus. So this is a new beginning. And Mars is there in trine. So this is going to be physical. The heroes are going to be out. And it's a good, you want to plan some physical activities and repair some things, fix some things, get out the hammer and saw, be a protector and maintain stuff. This new moon is a good time to get started at it. And, if you're doing that on Tuesday morning and Monday night, well, it'll tend to flavor the whole month. That's what new moons do. They set the flavor for the coming month. So it's a pretty nice flavor. I like it. But then I have Taurus rising. Hey, do you know your rising sign? Do you? Well, if you don't, you can email me, rolandfrost@yahoo.com, and give me your date, time, and place, and I'll calculate, figure it out, and email you back your rising sign. First step in astrology is find out what kind of body you're inhabiting, and that body you're inhabiting is your rising sign, not sun sign. Sun sign astrology has kind of ruined astrology in the West, at least in the U.S. But here's a nice new beginning in Taurus. It's a fixed earth sign. It's very stable. Good time to repair stuff and get things going there. Moon goes into Gemini and after noontime on Tuesday the 15th. It all changes. Every time the moon changes sign, the vibes change because they accent different actors, And here we've been accenting the father figures and the brothers and the workers, on Tuesday or on Monday night and Tuesday morning. But as you get to Wednesday, the moon squares Neptune, and here we got water problems again on May 16th, and it's confusing, and we're a little insecure. And that continues through Wednesday into Thursday. Thursday morning, the moon's on Venus. Oh boy, stay in bed late. And there's a nice sextile to Uranus. And so there's some brotherhood and some sweetness and some beauty and some peace and some calm around Thursday morning. About time, huh? Whew. That Mars thing, that was kind of difficult. But here Venus, she's just the opposite. And hope you have a sweet Thursday morning. As you go into Thursday afternoon, the moon changes again and goes into Cancer, a cardinal water sign. And you begin to feel Saturn. Here's the limitations. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough. And I hate those politicians and those bankers. Yeah, Thursday night at midnight or so, just before midnight, the moon opposing Saturn. We don't like Saturn much. But Friday morning, the moon's still in Cancer, and here's a nice sextile to Mercury. The kids are happy. We're communicating. In the middle of Friday before lunch, here's a nice trine to Neptune. We regain our faith. Neptune's in Pisces, trines the moon in Cancer. So it's not bad. It gets a little panicky, however, when the moon in Cancer opposes Pluto in Capricorn. Now, if you don't know that Cancer opposes Capricorn, well, you got to go back and start your astrology studies in kindergarten, and more on that later. At any rate, here's some Pluto stuff. This could be volcanoes. This is eek, a little scary stuff. But I'm on May 1st here, having a Pluto day, and I kind of find it interesting. So good time for some research, even though you may not be happy with what you learn Friday night. And this is lousy for the policeman and for policing in general. So if you're not behaving, look out, here come the cops, Friday night. Yeah, they won't put away their guns. Ugh. Saturday, the moon's still in Cancer. And as you go through to the middle of the day. Here's a square from Uranus and an opposition to Mars, 28, 29 degrees. So we got electrical problems, and we got interruptions in emergency services, and we could have sudden overdone Mars. What's that? Like road rage all of a sudden. Well, the sun is there in sextile though, so hopefully the father figures and the men will calm down these young guys who are feeling really jittery and ready to go off in revolutionary activity. That's the way it is Saturday in the middle of the day. Moon goes into Leo, and Sunday morning it goes by the North Node. There's a lot of nurturing around. Church would be nice on Sunday morning. Time you get to Sunday afternoon, there's a square to Jupiter. We're overdoing it a little bit, Moon in Leo. But it's supposed to be that way. Remember now, inside and outside are the same. Look inside, look outside, look at the chart. That's what the wise man said.